welcome back to the channel. Real quick, man, I am test driving this I think this is a 2011. Can y'all tell by the dash? 2011 Dodge, probably Avenger. Yes, now I'm driving it because she says it's overheating. That's right, overheating. Now, you know, most overheating problems, you must verify the complaint. You have to. I mean, you will be just guessing and throwing parts at cars if you just merely every car you bring in, you put a thermostat in. I'm just using an example. Or you write up a coolant flush or something like that. Now, I've been driving this car for a good 3-4 miles, and the hands seem to only get up to halfway, and it worked its way back down that. But at one point, it got a little bit over half. So what I'm hoping to do, because the reason for my test drive, I like to catch it overheating so I can, normally I jump out of the car, I pull over to a safe area, jump out, verify that the cooling fan is running. Now, some people like to go by if they can hear the fan running or not, but you may get lucky and you may not. It all depends. So, but I just soon jump out and see if it's running and how strong it's running, because the strength of the fan matters also. So sometimes I do that. Like I say, I'm driving, but I'm in no risk or no danger. There's nothing. Yeah, sometimes I would jump out and see if the fan running. Sometimes I would jump out and right after I get it to finally overheat, I would jump out and grab the upper radiator hose. I feel it. You know, I'm using my hand to detect temperature. And I was grab the upper radiator hose. Sometimes I'd fall down on my back and grab the lower radiator hose. All with an intent to verify temperature difference. Okay, I'm trying to see how much different is the upper radiator hose to the lower radiator hose. Sometimes I can get lucky. Sometimes the upper radiator hose is a lot warmer than the lower radiator hose, which at that point you can probably assume the radiator is partially clogged, or vice versa. Either way, it just depends on which hose is hotter than the other, or for that matter, if the temperature is even different at all. So I would jump out and do that. Keep in mind now, this if I finally get it to overheat. Look, okay, I'm going up. I'm over halfway mark. So if it gets to 3/4, I will pull over and do my thing. But that is not normal, ladies and gentlemen. So I have refrained anyway from calling a customer not so much a liar, but disputing their claims, because you got to keep in mind, mechanics, no customer want to waste their time at your shop. So they really obviously think they have a problem. So long time ago when I first got in this industry, I had a bad habit of, ain't nothing wrong with it. This customer crazy. Ain't nothing wrong with that damn car. Ain't nothing wrong with it. No, man. Nobody wants to waste time taking their car to the shop, hanging out, waiting on a diagnosis. Okay? So I have refrained from doing that. So if you say you have a problem, you have a problem. I 100% believe you. Now, it's going to be up to me to actually get it to do it. In other words, duplicate it. You won't always get lucky. You will not always get the car to act up when you finally drive it. And sometimes I will even drive with the customer. Things like overheating problems. I'm like, man, we got to go drive it so you can tell me when it's overheating. We go 5-10 miles, nothing never happens. Again, it's not that she's lying. It's just that you couldn't get the car to overheat while you guys was driving it. So you just need to keep driving it until you do get it to overheat in order to duplicate, or in order to do your diagnosis properly. It's nothing like trying to diagnose a car that overheats, but you can't get it to overheat. You see what I'm saying? So that don't make, that's hard to do. But so I have once had a customer leave her car for a week. I had to drive it around personally like it's mine. Sometimes you got to make a car yours. I mean, take it through your everyday daily life. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are at 1/4. Now see, it's going back down. It's just like a thermostat was stuck and then finally opened and released the coolant and the temp gauge went down. So now it's hovering back over the halfway mark. I want to get to a quarter before I jump out and do my thing. All right, so what was I saying? Yes, yeah, one time I had a customer, I was driving a customer car. I had to make her car mine. In other words, take it through my daily life, my everyday life. If I'm going to the grocery store, I got to drive this car. If I'm running an errand, I'm running the errand in this car. The goal is to get it to duplicate with me in it. Number one, I will personally duplicate the problem. Number two, like I say, my secret hack that I go through, my hack diagnosis that I go through after I get it to overheat. That's the key word. I have to get it to overheat in order to do, because nothing about my hack overheating diagnosis is printed on paper. It's not normal. And I never claimed for it to be normal. These are similar hacks that I created. For instance, I've learned how water pumps actually works. And I did a video a while back. That video is still doing good. Matter of fact, I'm gonna link it up here in the description. Go watch that video. It's basically how to tell if your water pump doing its job. And one way you can go by doing that is the simple. Turn the heat on. Okay? I mean, that's a quick test. I deem that or dub that a quick water pump test, because I didn't want to catch a lot of flack by telling people, you know, I have like 5,000 subscribers, right? So if I convince 5,000 subscribers that the best way to check your water pump is to simply turn your heat on and see if it's working, you know, that could wreak havoc with people running to their mechanics telling them what they heard. So I named that video a quick, simple test to test your water pump. Ladies and gentlemen, this heater is scalding hot. So what that tells me, I give y'all a quick update on that video. Still go watch the video. I'm gonna give you a quick rundown. I got the heater on hot and got it coming out of vent. Let me pull over right here. So what that tells me is the water pump is working. No water pump, I repeat, no water pump that's failing or not pushing out proper pressure has the strength to push coolant through the block, through the radiator, all the way through those 3/4 holes to your heater core. And it has to have the strength to push the coolant through the heater core and go back out of the heater core, back into the block, and repeat this vicious cycle. No failing water pump is able to do that, okay? So, you heard it from me. That is a quick way to test the output of your water pump, okay? And I always use that term, the output, because a water pump can fail in a number of ways. The bearings can fail. It can become noisy. It can leak. So you can't test those failures this way, but you can basically test the output. See if the water pump putting out proper pressure the way it's supposed to. Okay, most water pumps today are belt driven. Some there's still some time and chain driven water pump. For instance, the 2.7 found in the Chrysler is time and chain driven. All right, the little 2.4 liter engines, okay, most of those are time and belt driven. It doesn't matter what drives the water pump. What matters is the water pump's pushing and circulating coolant pressure the way it's supposed to. Now, there's a couple things that could, that can ruin that operation or that procedure, such as air pocket. Okay, if you have an air pocket, all bets are off. Okay, you have to make sure the cooling system is properly filled or full before you do any kind of test like that. All bets are off if you have an air pocket. So run through your proper coolant fill procedure, make sure there's no air pocket, and then run this water pump test. Okay, now this car is not, I'm at a standstill. This car is not overheating the hand, just hovering around halfway like nothing's going on, like it ain't even never tried to get up to a quarter. What that tells me is there's possibly a partially restricted thermostat on this car. Okay, now y'all know how thermostat work. If not, I'll link up right here to a quick video, or is it right here? A quick video that I talk about a thermostat, okay, and what symptoms a stuck thermostat would cause. Watch that video. All right, but yes, it's not overheating. I'm at a standstill and I'm stuck on halfway. The heater is on and I can hear the fan running. So I'm gonna go back into the shop and finalize my diagnosis and write up a couple of things. Number one, I'm gonna look at the thermostat. You can't really look at it, so you have to base your diagnosis mainly on your test drive, guys. And like I say, I'm obviously full of coolant because my heater is blowing hot. An air pocket cannot survive in a car cooling system that a heater is working, because if the air pocket was in there, that coolant would not flow the way it's supposed to. So I'm gonna assume I have no air pockets. I can hear my fan running and my heater is hot. So let me go back in the shop and finish this diagnosis. All right, I will put in the description what I found. I see I'm over 10 minutes and I hate these long videos, so I will get back with y'all on the next video or in the description of what I end up replacing. Thanks for watching, comment, subscribe, and I'll see y'all on the next video.